we were going to do the mid-season.
We still are.
Break, which we don't get in the UK because we have it so much later than the US. We've basically caught up and we are watching it sequentially week on week. But what would have been the mid-season hiatus at the halfway point of season 3, if you have not seen it, I'd recommend you don't listen to this review. Go and watch it and then come back. But we had certain views.
We did.
Because we basically only review TV series when it's a momentous occasion, like a Christmas special or something, or a season finale, or we've been annoyed by it. And we've been annoyed by this, haven't we?
We've been annoyed. So, so it's Series 3, Episode 10 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's called Maveth.
What were your problems with it? Or do you want to do the context of it?
Yeah, let's give some context. Oh, dear.
So basically, Inhumans are popping up left, right and centre.
Thank you.
There's the S.H.I.E.L.D. are kind of scooping them up and training them.
To be like their version of the Secret Warriors.
To be like kind of agents for S.H.I.E.L.D. And then there's this other side, the ATS?
Or the ATAC, or the...
Some kind of acronym. But they're still shady.
Because she's played by Candice Bergen?
I have no idea. She's from Defiant. She's from Defiant, and I liked her.
She's from Defiant, or she's from Boston Legal. If you like Boston Legal. And, it turns out she was reporting to... If you saw the first Avengers film, which hopefully you did, she was reporting to the character played by Powers Booth, who has turned up again in this recent series of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And his name is Gideon Malik.
And he's Hydra.
And
Glider. Depends how they handle it.
Yeah.
But the thing that annoys us is that they're desperately trying to keep the Ward character in, but he keeps losing his reason to be there. And they kind of came up with quite a cool idea, was that Will, the guy who Simmons had basically been with and fallen in love with on the other planet.
Oh, should we maybe tell people what we're talking about? In case they don't... No.
Well, they've got this far. They probably know vaguely what the story is. But so Simmons went to another planet through this portal, this monolith portal.
At the end of series 2.
Which was really cool. And that whole episode in the series was really good, where you saw her life.
Yeah.
And there's another guy who was an astronaut. He was basically a blood sacrifice that Hydra sent through the monolith to satisfy some kind of creature that's on the planet.
Some primordial creature or something.
And she finds Will, they fall in love. And then... they use science jiggery pokery to work out technobabble to find out where the portal's going to open, and then the big bad, whatever it might be, this evil thing comes along. Will kind of fights it so that Simmons can get rescued by Fitz, and then she goes through the portal, and then she's trying to get back through, and then Hydra have the holes that were in the monolith. I liked that there were those 5 holes in the monolith, so they had the explanation of where extra bits came from. I really liked, because the whole time I was like, what are those holes? What is that? That bugged me, and now I know.
Right.
So they had these little sections of the monolith, and then if you shake them a certain way, then they open to make a portal. That's really cool. But they couldn't work out how to get anyone back, but then Fitz worked it out or something, and you never quite worked out how he did it, but never mind.
Well, that's because we missed an episode.
We missed an episode because we happened to watch it weekly, and then it goes off the player. Then it turns out that they go back to the planet. You've got Phil Coulson, who falls through the portal. So he's falling through the portal at terminal velocity.
Can I give some context? Right.
Terminal velocity.
Right. So Ward, having teamed up with Gideon Malik, the head of Hydra, powerful guy. Coulson wants to go after Ward because Ward killed his girl, and he's not happy with that. So he resigns as director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, he steps aside and puts Mac in charge.
No, he resigns.
He doesn't resign. He says, you are acting head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay, he steps aside. I stand corrected.
You do.
And jumps out of a Quinjet and goes straight through the portal, and somehow manages to get through the castle where the portal is. And
because there's no roof.
No roof. There might be a very big skylight.
He falls a good 100 yards.
Well, we don't know how far, but he falls a long way. He falls a long way,
and presumably shoots out at this velocity on a planet that has proven to be and discussed has had stronger gravity
and different properties and all kinds of stuff.
So when Phil Coulson smacks against that planet's surface,
you'd think, well, he's street pizza. But he's not any kind of pizza. Instead, he has a couple of nice daydreams because the actress who played the girlfriend clearly had another episode in her contract, so they needed to, have her there for a dream sequence.
Yeah, that was really stupid.
For the feels.
So basically, they kind of create this whole situation where Phil and Ward are trying to kill each other, but then they don't. And then Philip Coulson keeps him alive for no good reason.
No.
For no good reason. He doesn't know where Will and
Simmons are.
Fitz.
Sorry.
He doesn't know where they are. He has no information. He doesn't know anything about the train. There is no reason to keep him alive. He could have killed him. Anytime. But the thing of it was they wanted to keep him alive so that when they get to the portal, and it turns out, I did actually twig just before it happened, but you twigged earlier, that Will is in fact now the big bad. Whatever the big bad is, that actually turns out to be some kind of silver worm.
Or some kind of silvery, we can make dead things stay alive, and it's a zombie. It's
basically a Goa'uld.
Fitz and Will end up fighting when Fitz works out that Will isn't Will and is actually, in actual fact, the big bad that they should be fighting against, because Will
that reveal.
Because Will ends up having more knowledge of the alien planet and stuff than Will actually had ever shown previously and that Fitz had ever heard about. So they end up fighting, and Fitz ends up getting it.
And also the fact that part of Will's leg is missing.
Yeah,
and had been wrapped in bandage, which if anyone had actually checked, I'm just saying, Hydra, there's a reason they haven't taken over the world. They're very sloppy. They don't check the details.
Well, Hydra never been.
Because I would have taken one look at that leg, and the fact that he slaughtered those Hydra people and be like, something ain't right.
Well, you see, Hydra...
Something ain't right there.
Hydra are big on the big sweeping gestures, taking over S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's detailed. It's the little things. Yeah, but they didn't maintain it once they revealed themselves. It's all... No, you've got to be detail-orientated if you're going to take over the world. I'm just saying.
It worries me that you've thought so much about
I have thought about this a lot.
Wow. Okay.
I see them doing it wrong.
I understand. So, there's a big fight, but, Fitz ends up getting the upper hand, and it's all good times. Meanwhile, Coulson and Ward are fighting, and Coulson, by the way, has already shot Ward in the arm once.
Twice.
Once, and then he shoots him again, and then they have a nice fight, even though Ward's been shot twice.
And there's perfect use of his arms, even though he was clearly shot in the shoulders.
Don't ask us.
And has been restrained, so his arm muscles are probably...
fairly...
tired, at least, if nothing else.
If not bereft of any kind of movement. But never mind, so we get a nice fight, and the portal, by the way, has a timer on it, so when the portal reopens...
only a minute.
Something of the sort. It has a timer on it, and there's a lot of hoo-ha about, oh gosh, what are we going to do?
It's closing for 2 solid minutes. It's kind of like the character they don't know what to do with. They want to keep him around, but they don't know how to use him.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I kind of wish he would just go away for a couple of seasons and then come back when they actually have something to do with him.
Yeah, like if they had a plan.
Because I feel like
they don't have a plan. I mean, I'm sure they have a plan.
I think they have a plan, but I think it's changed.
Oh, fair enough.
I think the plan is changing. What was the original plan for his character isn't going ahead now, and I think they're scrumming together something.
Fair point. So, so they come back through the portal, and you don't really see them escape from the castle, except in like a weird isolation
badly edited. Pod. It's very badly edited.
It's
like 10 seconds to go, and it goes on for about 4 minutes. Script, it's good characters, it's just poorly thought through story arcs. It's not even poorly thought through stories within the stories. The actual individual episodes still function.
They do.
It's just, there isn't that flow that there used to be. Like season 2, it felt like there was every character had a definitive arc that they had and that they were traveling through.
And everything was working, and you had S.H.I.E.L.D., Coulson S.H.I.E.L.D., and you had the other guy's S.H.I.E.L.D., like Edward James Olmos and stuff.
Like everything,
Adama. They had Adama from the modern Battlestar Galactica leading one half of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you were just like, that's amazing.
But it feels like it's very stop-starty this season. So I feel like maybe they're trying to do something different and they're having to set up a lot of new things.
Yeah.
But maybe, we don't know where it'll go, but we now have zombie...
That's true.
Mutant God Hydra Ward. To be honest, again, it's boring. It's been done before. Yeah. I think the problem is season 2 is very good.
Season 2
and the story arc was very, very strong with the Inhumans. I think the loss of Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Because I just kept thinking, could you imagine Malak having to deal with Kyle MacLachlan?
Malak wouldn't have a clue how to deal with Mr. Hyde. He would
just be like, what? Just kill him. And then he just
And he'd try, and Kyle MacLachlan would be like, no.
Just kill a load of his Hydra, and he'd be like, well, you're going to join me? And he's like, are you going to try and kill my daughter? Yes. Then no.
Yeah.
But we'll kill you. I don't care.
The best thing about Series 2 was how they wrote him out so that he could come back.
He hopefully will when he's finished.
When he's finished with Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Can't wait for new Twin Peaks.
It was just, I don't know, It's just not a strong series. But then again, the first season, the first half was not good, and it got better. So maybe this is just building up to other stuff.
I mean, because some of the episodes have actually been really good.
And I love the Lash story is very interesting. A little boring in some ways because we both worked out it was going to be the husband.
We did.
Well before it was revealed.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it and dislike it all at the same time. I kind of wish it had been another character.
What, just an unknown?
No, a character who had maybe been built up as a military commander who was against Inhumans. And then Inhumans posted him something to try and kill him, and then it turned out he wasn't Inhuman. And then that would justify his hatred of Inhumans. I think if you wanted to have them have an Inhuman arc, I would make him be an Inhuman. Comes out the other side, everything's normal. Turns out he's psychic, so he can hear everything that's in May's head.
Oh, you don't want that.
Exactly.
But it'd be a fun episode.
But him being able to see everything in May's head and him seeing all of the stuff she's done and actually hearing her inner thoughts because she's such a quiet person, hearing her be like, I actually want to kill that guy, like, actually being able to hear her inner voice, I think would stop him from seeing her as he sees her. I think that would have been more interesting.
I don't think May thinks like that. I think May actually...
I don't know. Okay, then give her... She must have some kind of frame of thought that he would find objectionable.
Or that he would find interesting.
Or he could hear her thoughts or see her flashbacks to memories to her doing stuff which he would not approve of.
Yeah, which he would find questionable and things.
So I think that would have been...
A better way.
A better thing, and something which is not him turning into a crazy killer man. As much as I loved seeing Lash on the live screen, because I do read the Inhumans comics, as cool as it was to see him, if they'd thrown in a few things where he'd shot someone, maybe a bit too quick, and May going, you didn't hesitate very much there, and he goes, well, we were in danger.
Yeah, that would have been...
And then the camera turns away and he smiles. Just some dirt on him. Some dirt on him. There was nothing.
Some kind of wrinkles.
He's a good guy. Yeah. He's a good guy and he loves May.
He's a straight up good guy, and for some reason their relationship didn't work out, blah, blah, blah.
I think that would have been more interesting, and it was actually not about him having this mission to kill Inhumans, because that's stupid, but actually have it that he can actually see the real May, rather than seeing his perception of the real May and how filtered she is.
And then it would be his reaction.
And it would be his reaction, and I think that would break her heart.
Oh.
Because it would be him rejecting the real her.
That would be really good.
That would be really good.
Maybe they'll still do that. We don't know.
What, that Lash becomes a psychic? I don't think so. It's not one of his powers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an adaptation, remember, not a straight up, translation.
Well, he hasn't demonstrated any psychic powers at the present. He just senses their powers and then melts their soul and eats it.
Apparently.
I love the makeup. I do like the makeup. It's very good.
It looks very much like the guy on the Inhumans. I haven't read the Inhumans comics, unlike you, but it looks very much like it. Well,
for a limited budget TV series.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, they do well.
It's a very good prosthetic. But I don't know, it feels like there's a lot of these kind of shells of a good idea that they obviously just haven't had time to flesh out.
Yep, and that's, yeah.
And I feel like budgetary constraints and such.
That's always going to be a problem. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's it. That's our thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Series 3, Episode 10. And indeed, I suppose, Series 3 midway through, yeah.
There's lots of potential, and there's lots of wasted potential, but I think there is definitely potential for it to get better. As always, it can only get better.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's goodbye from Captain X.
And goodbye from Rogue One. Goodbye.